Hello, little dreamers. I'm Luna. Welcome to Luna Bedtime Story. Tonight, we'll journey into a world of gentle adventures, kind hearts, and peaceful dreams. If you'd like a new bedtime story waiting for you every week, don't forget to subscribe and join our cozy little family. Now, get comfortable. Snuggle into your favorite blanket. Let your shoulders relax. Close your eyes. Let's begin our story.
The Little Wizard's Garden. Chapter 1. The Quiet Tower. At the edge of a small village stood a round stone tower. The tower was not very tall. It had 3 floors, 1 wooden door, and a pointed roof covered with blue tiles. Green moss grew between the stones near the ground. In the evenings, warm yellow light shone from its narrow windows. A young wizard named Milo lived there. Milo was 9 years old. His soft brown hair never stayed flat. It defied him even after he brushed it. He wore a blue robe with deep pockets. The robe had once belonged to an older wizard. Its sleeves were a little too long. Milo often had to roll them up before he worked. Milo lived with his teacher, Master Rowan. Master Rowan was an old wizard with silver hair and calm gray eyes. He spoke slowly. He listened carefully. His long green robe smelled faintly of pine needles. He liked to walk in the forest each morning. The bottom floor held the kitchen and sitting room. A round table stood near the fire. 2 wooden chairs waited beside it. Shelves covered one wall. They held jars of tea, flour, honey, dried herbs, and other useful things. The second floor was the study. It was filled with books, maps, candles, and glass bottles. Some books contained simple spells. Others described magical animals, distant mountains, or rare stars. The top floor held 2 small bedrooms. Milo loved the tower. He loved the crackle of the fire and the smell of old books. He loved the sound of rain against the blue roof. Still, he often wished that something exciting would happen. One peaceful spring morning, Milo hurried down the stairs with a spell book under his arm. "I am ready to learn a great spell." Master Rowan was sitting at the table. He was pouring hot water from a clay pot into 2 cups. The cups were plain and brown. They had wide handles that were easy to hold. "What sort of spell?" "Flying," Milo said, "or calling a dragon, or building a castle in one breath." Master Rowan placed a cup of warm mint tea in front of Milo. "Those are large spells. I want to learn them." Master Rowan looked through the window. Beyond the glass was a small patch of land. It was surrounded by a low stone wall. The ground inside was dark and empty. Milo rarely noticed that patch of land. To him, it was only bare earth. Master Rowan took a slow sip of tea. "First, you must learn to care for a small spell." Milo leaned forward. "Is it a secret spell?" "In a way. Does it have a difficult name?" "No." "Will there be sparks? Perhaps later?" He stood and reached for a small wooden box on the shelf. The box was pale brown and smooth. A tiny moon had been carved into its lid. Master Rowan carried it outside. Milo followed him through the back door. The morning air was cool. Dew shone on the grass. Birds sang from the branches of a nearby apple tree. Master Rowan stopped beside the empty patch of land. "This," he said, "will be your garden?" Milo looked at the dark soil. "My garden?" "Yes. You will prepare the earth, plant seeds, and care for everything that grows." Milo waited for more. Master Rowan remained silent. "Is that the whole lesson?" Milo asked. "It is the beginning." Milo looked at the wooden box. "Are the seeds magical?" "Very." Milo brightened at once. Master Rowan opened the lid. Inside were 10 round seeds. Each was pale gold and the size of a small bean. They looked ordinary, but when sunlight touched them, a gentle green light moved beneath their shells. Milo reached toward them. Master Rowan closed the lid before his fingers arrived. "Not yet. The garden must be ready first." Milo looked again at the empty ground. "How long will that take?" "As long as it needs." Milo sighed. Master Rowan placed the wooden box in Milo's hands. A beginning should not be rushed. Milo did not yet understand. Still, he held the box carefully. Behind the quiet tower, Milo's first great lesson began. Chapter 2. The Patient Earth. The next morning, Master Rowan took Milo to a small shed beside the garden. The shed was made of dark wood. Its roof leaned slightly to one side. It was strong and dry inside. Gardening tools hung from wooden pegs along the wall. Master Rowan chose 3 tools and explained each one. The first was a spade. It had a flat metal blade and a long wooden handle. It was used for turning hard ground into soft earth. The second was a hand fork. It was smaller than the spade and had 4 short metal points. It was used for breaking apart lumps of soil. The third was a basket woven from willow branches. It was used for carrying stones, weeds, and old roots out of the garden. Milo lifted the spade. It was heavier than he expected. "Can I use a spell instead?" he asked. "You must understand the work first." Milo carried the spade into the garden. The garden was a quiet rectangle of earth. The low wall protected it from strong wind. In one corner stood an old apple tree. Its branches were covered with small white flowers. Master Rowan showed Milo how to place the spade. He pressed the blade into the soil with his foot. Then he lifted a dark piece of earth. He gently turned it over, slowly. "The soil is a home." Milo studied the turned earth. A pink worm moved between the roots. "Does the worm help the garden?" he asked. "Yes. It makes paths for air and water." Milo carefully moved the worm away from the next place he planned to dig. Then he began. At first, he worked too quickly. He pushed the spade down with all his strength. The blade struck a hidden stone. The handle shook in his hands. Milo frowned. He pushed again. This time, the spade became trapped beneath a thick root. "This ground does not want to be a garden," he said. Master Rowan sat on the low wall. "The ground is not in a hurry." Milo tugged at the spade. The root held it firmly. Master Rowan showed him how to loosen the soil. Together, they uncovered the root without breaking it. The root belonged to the old apple tree. They left it safely in place. Milo began again. He pressed the spade into the soil. He lifted one piece of earth, then another. The sun rose higher. The air became warm. Milo's hands grew tired. Each time he filled the basket, he carried it to a pile. He placed stones in one pile. He placed weeds in another. Master Rowan explained that the stones could form a path. The weeds would later become rich soil. By midday, Milo had finished only one small part of the garden. He looked at the ground, still waiting to be turned. "This will take forever," he said. Master Rowan gave him lunch. They sat beneath the flowering tree. They ate in the shade. "Look at what you have done," Master Rowan said. Milo looked at the dark soil. It was smooth and clean. No weeds remained there. Still, he felt proud. It was not a large area, but it was smooth and clean. No weeds remained there. No hard lumps waited beneath the surface. "It is only a little," Milo said. "Care is better than haste." After lunch, Milo returned to work. He did not try to finish the entire garden at once. He chose one narrow row. When that row was ready, he chose the next. The afternoon passed quietly. Birds moved through the branches. Bees visited the apple flowers. Now and then, a cloud placed the garden in cool shade. When evening came, Milo stood beside Master Rowan. The whole garden had not been prepared, yet half of it was now soft, dark, and ready for planting. Milo's back ached. There was dirt on his robe and a small blister on one hand. Still, he felt proud. As they put the tools back in the shed, Master Rowan gave him a clean cloth for his hand. The cloth was soft and it smelled of lavender. "Did I learn the first spell?" Milo asked. "You learned the first part. The spell is patience." The earth looked like a place where something wonderful might grow. Chapter 3. 10 Golden Seeds. Chapter 6. The Hungry Moon Moth. It took Milo 3 more mornings to prepare the garden. He worked one row at a time. He removed stones, loosened the soil, and protected the old apple tree's roots. On the 4th afternoon, the garden was ready. Master Rowan brought the pale wooden box outside. The carved moon on its lid glowed softly in the sunlight. Before opening it, he showed Milo a small packet of paper. "This contains star compost," he explained. The compost looked like silver dust mixed with soil. It had been made from fallen leaves, crushed eggshells, and tower dust. The mixture would feed the magical seeds. Master Rowan brought string tied between 2 sticks. He pressed the sticks into the soil at each end of a row. The strings stretched in a straight line. "Every plant needs space. This will guide you," he said. "A straight row gives every plant enough space." Milo used one finger to make 10 small holes beside the string. Each hole was as deep as the first joint of his finger. Master Rowan checked them carefully. At last he opened the wooden box. The 10 golden seeds lay on a cushion of green cloth. Milo picked up the first seed. It felt warm in his hand. "What will it become?" he asked. "No one knows." Milo stared at the seed. "You do not know?" Magical seeds choose their form as they grow. They respond to the gardener. Milo imagined silver trees, singing flowers, and vines covered with jewels. He placed the first seed in a hole. Before he could pick up the second, Master Rowan touched his shoulder. "Plant each seed with a clear thought." "What kind of thought?" "A kind one." Milo looked down at the first seed. "I hope you grow into something grand," he said. "Offer kindness instead of a wish." Milo thought for a moment. "I will water you." Its shell gave a small green flash. Milo smiled. He planted the second seed. "I will remove the weeds." The second seed glowed. To the third seed, he promised warm soil. To the fourth, he promised light. To the fifth, he promised to watch for insects that might harm its leaves. To the sixth, he promised not to pull its stem. To the seventh, he promised to protect it from cold wind. To the eighth, he promised to visit every morning. To the ninth, he promised to learn what it needed. Milo held the 10th seed for a long time. "I will not ask you to change." The 10th seed glowed brightly. Milo covered every hole with loose soil. Milo placed a small spoonful of star compost over each seed. Then he covered every hole with loose soil. When he finished, the row looked exactly as it had before. Milo waited. Nothing happened. He leaned closer. The ground remained still. "Should there not be a sound?" he asked. "Or a flash? The seeds are beneath the soil." "I know, but they are magical. Deep magic is often quiet." Milo lifted both hands above the row. He spoke a growing charm that he had read in one of the spell books. "Roots awaken, stems arise. Reach for earth and greet the skies." A few green sparks fell from his fingers. The ground trembled. Milo's eyes widened. Then a dry leaf jumped into the air and landed on his shoe. Nothing else happened. Master Rowan did not laugh. He gently brushed the leaf away. "The charm cannot command these seeds. Do I need a larger spell book?" "No." "A stronger wand?" "No." "Then what do I need?" "You only need time." Milo looked at the plain row of soil. "How much time?" "Seeds do not carry clocks." Milo sat beside the garden for the rest of the afternoon. He watched the soil. He watched until the light turned gold. Shadows stretched across the ground. Nothing appeared. When the evening grew cool, Master Rowan called him inside. Milo stood and brushed the dirt from his robe. "Perhaps they will grow tonight," he said. "Perhaps." Milo looked back at the garden before closing the door. Beneath the earth, the seeds rested. Water softened their shells. The soil held them safely. Deep magic was happening in the dark. Chapter 4. The Silver Watering Can. The following morning, Milo ran to the garden before breakfast. The row was empty. He searched for a green point or a crack in the soil. There was nothing to see. Master Rowan came outside carrying a silver watering can. The watering can was round and smooth. A long spout reached from its side. At the end was a metal rose. It allowed water to fall like soft rain. "This belonged to my teacher," Master Rowan said. "It is old, but it has been well cared for." "Is it magical?" Milo asked. "It gives exactly what is needed." Milo took the handle. The can was almost empty. They walked to a stone well near the tower. The well had a low circular wall and a wooden roof. A bucket hung from a rope above the dark water. Master Rowan lowered the bucket. Clear water shimmered inside. He filled the watering can halfway. "Why not fill it completely?" Milo asked. "A full can is too heavy. Slow work is better." Milo carried the can to the seed row. Master Rowan showed him how to tilt it. Fine streams fell from the rows. They landed softly across the soil. Milo watered the first 5 seeds with care. Then he became eager. He lifted the can higher, hoping the magical water would wake the seeds faster. The can suddenly felt very heavy. He lowered it before he dropped it. "It is stopping me," he said. "It is reminding you." Milo watered the remaining seeds slowly. When the work was finished, the soil was dark and damp. Small drops of water shone on its surface. "Now what?" Milo asked. "Now we wait." They ate breakfast inside the tower. Milo had warm porridge with honey, but he kept looking through the window. After breakfast, he returned to the row. Still nothing. At midday, he checked again. Still nothing. In the afternoon, a warm wind crossed the garden. The top of the soil began to look dry. Milo reached for the watering can. Master Rowan stopped him. "You have finished for now." "But the ground is dry. The deep soil is still damp. Too much water will cause rot." Milo did so. Beneath the thin, dry layer, the earth was cool and damp. "If you give the seeds too much water," Master Rowan explained, "they may rot before they grow." Milo pulled his hand away. "I thought care meant doing more." "Sometimes care means knowing when to stop." That evening, dark clouds gathered above the tower. A light rain began to fall. It tapped gently against the leaves of the apple tree. Round drops rested along the top of the stone wall. Milo stood under the back doorway and watched. "Will the seeds have too much water now?" he asked. "The soil will hold what it needs." Milo listened to the quiet rain. The garden did not appear to change. Still, he imagined the water moving through the soft earth. He imagined it reaching the golden shells. Before going to bed, Milo placed the silver watering can beside the garden gate. He dried its handle with a cloth so that it would not become dull. The next morning, he used it again. He watered only until the soil was damp. The morning after that, he did the same. On the 5th day, Milo bent over the row. A tiny green curve had broken through the soil. Milo held his breath. By noon, 7 little shoots stood in the row. 3 had not yet appeared. He remembered the lesson. Seeds do not carry clocks. The 10th shoot rose slowly. Milo knelt beside it. It opened 2 pale leaves. Milo was simply glad that it had come. Chapter 5. The night of cold wind. As spring continued, the 10 shoots grew into small plants. Each one looked different. The first had round green leaves with silver edges. The second had a thin red stem. The third carried leaves shaped like tiny stars. The fourth was covered with soft golden fuzz. The 5th had 2 blue leaves that folded together whenever a shadow passed over them. The other plants were smaller, but each had its own shape and color. Milo visited them every morning. He gave them water when the soil was dry. He removed weeds while they were still small. He spoke to the plants because Master Rowan said that a gardener's voice could be a gentle kind of company. One afternoon, the air changed. The sky had been bright in the morning, but gray clouds covered it by midday. The branches of the apple tree began to shake. A cold wind moved over the stone wall. Master Rowan stood in the garden and watched the western sky. Frost is coming. Milo knew what frost was. During cold weather, water in the air could freeze into a thin white layer. Frost looked beautiful, but it could harm young leaves. "What shall we do?" Milo asked. Master Rowan took him to the shed. Inside was a stack of glass bells. They were not bells that made music. They were clear covers shaped like wide jars. Gardeners placed them over small plants to hold warmth near the soil. "These cloches will hold the warmth." Milo counted them. There were only 9. "We have 10 plants." "Yes," Master Rowan said. Milo searched behind the tools. He looked beneath the shelf and inside the willow basket. There was no 10th cloche. "We need a spell," Milo said. "We need a plan." They returned to the tower kitchen. Master Rowan showed him a large clay bowl. The bowl was used for mixing bread dough. It was wide enough to cover the smallest plant. "Clay is not clear," Milo said. "The plant will have no light. It will be safe tonight." Milo carried the bowl outside. Together, they placed the 9 glass cloches over the first 9 plants. Milo pressed the edges gently into the soil so the wind could not lift them. The 10th plant was the one that had appeared last. It was still smaller than the others. Its stem was pale, and its 2 leaves were no wider than buttons. Milo placed the clay bowl over it. When he finished, the first drops of cold rain began to fall. They went inside. The wind pushed against the tower. It whistled around the roof. It shook the narrow windows. Milo sat near the fire, but he could not enjoy his supper. "What if the cloches blow away?" he asked. "They are pressed firmly into the soil. What if the bowl becomes too cold? The clay is thick. What if the frost slips under the edges? Worry will not help." Milo looked toward the back door. "I should check them." Master Rowan studied the darkness outside. "Check them once. Dress warmly." Milo put on his thick brown cloak. The cloak was made from heavy wool and reached his boots. He also carried a lantern. The lantern had 4 glass sides around a small candle. A metal handle allowed it to be carried safely. Its light was not bright, but it made a warm circle in the darkness. Master Rowan walked with him. The wind pressed against their cloaks. Ice tapped against the lantern glass. The cloches were still in place. The cloches were still in place. So was the clay bowl. Milo checked each cover. He pressed a little more soil around the edges. Then he and Master Rowan returned to the tower. "We have done our best." Milo lay in bed and listened to the storm. He wanted to run outside again. He imagined every cloche lifting into the wind. He imagined the clay bowl rolling away, yet he remembered that the covers were strong. He remembered pressing their edges into the earth. Slowly, his breathing became calm. He trusted his work. The storm continued without him. The storm continued without him. By morning, the wind had passed. Milo hurried outside. White frost covered the grass and sparkled on the stone wall. He lifted the first cloche. The plant beneath it was green and safe. He lifted the remaining covers one by one. All 9 plants had survived. At last, he reached the clay bowl. He raised it very slowly. The smallest plant stood beneath it. One leaf had bent toward the ground, but the stem was alive. As sunlight touched it, the leaf began to rise. Milo sat beside it with relief. Master Rowan came to stand nearby. "You protected them well." Milo looked at the 10 plants. "We protected them." The sunlight grew warmer. Frost melted into clear drops. Milo carried the cloches back to the shed. He washed the clay bowl before returning it to the kitchen. That night, he slept deeply. He had learned that patience was not always about doing nothing. Trust the work that has been done. Chapter 6. The hungry moon moth's summer brought long, golden days to the garden. The apple flowers disappeared and small green apples took their place. Bees moved from plant to plant. The air smelled of warm leaves and clean soil. Milo's magical plants grew taller. The first plant became a silver-edged bush. The second wrapped its red stem around a thin support stick. The third spread star-shaped leaves across the ground. The 10th plant remained small. It had grown only 4 new leaves since the cold night. Milo often worried about it. He gave it the same water as the others. He loosened the soil around it and kept its space free from weeds. One morning, he found a round hole in one of its leaves. The next morning, there were 3 holes. Milo searched the plant but found nothing. On the 3rd morning, half of a leaf was gone. "A creature is eating it," Milo told Master Rowan. They examined the soil and the underside of every leaf. No creature appeared. Master Rowan brought a book from the tower study. Its cover showed a silver moth beneath a blue moon. The book explained the gentle insects and animals that lived in magical gardens. Milo turned the pages carefully. Near the middle, he found a picture of a moon moth caterpillar. The caterpillar was pale green and as long as Milo's thumb. Small silver spots covered its back. It rested during the day and ate after sunset. When fully grown, it formed a cocoon and later became a moon moth with shining white wings. The moth chose your garden, but it is eating the smallest one. It needs to eat. Milo reached for a jar on the shelf. The jar was clear glass with a metal lid. He planned to catch the caterpillar and carry it far away. Master Rowan pointed to another page in the book. The page described moon moths as important night pollinators. They carried pollen between flowers that opened after sunset. Without them, some magical plants could not form seeds. Milo slowly put the jar down. "I do not want it to destroy my plant," he said, "but I do not want to harm it. Find another food source." They read the next page. Moon moth caterpillars also liked the leaves of dream mint. Dream mint was a soft gray-green plant that grew near streams. Its leaves had a sweet smell. When dried, they could be placed in a cloth bag beneath a pillow to encourage peaceful dreams. A narrow stream ran through the meadow beyond the village. Milo and Master Rowan walked there after breakfast. The meadow was wide and quiet. Tall grass moved in the breeze. The stream curved between smooth stones, making a gentle sound. They found dream mint growing in a damp place near the water. Master Rowan showed Milo how to take only a few stems from each patch. If they took too much from one place, the mint might not recover. They returned to the garden with a small bundle. Milo prepared a new home for the caterpillar. He chose a large clay pot and filled it with soil. Then he planted several dream mint stems inside it. He placed the pot near the stone wall, away from the smallest magical plant. That evening, Milo waited in the garden with his lantern. The sky became deep blue. One by one, stars appeared. At last, something moved under the damaged leaf. A pale green caterpillar crawled along the stem. Its silver spots glowed softly in the lantern light. Milo held a dream mint leaf beside it. The caterpillar lifted its head. After a moment, it climbed onto the leaf. Milo carried it to the clay pot and placed the leaf among the mint. The caterpillar began to eat. Milo smiled. The plant was safe at last. "Now you have food," Milo whispered, "and my little plant can rest." For many evenings, he brought fresh mint to the pot. The caterpillar grew larger. Then, one morning, Milo found a silver cocoon hanging beneath a mint leaf. He wanted it to open at once. He wanted to see the moon moth. Instead, he waited. Days passed. The 10th magical plant slowly made a new leaf. This one had no holes. One warm night, Milo noticed a crack in the silver cocoon. He sat beside the pot. The crack widened very slowly. A small white head appeared. Then 2 folded wings came out. The moon moth rested on the leaf while its wings opened. Each wing was white and soft. Silver circles shone near the edges. The moth moved them gently, almost as if it were testing the night air. At last, it flew. It circled Milo's lantern once. Then it traveled across the garden. A flower on the 5th magical plant opened as the moth came near. The flower was deep blue with a silver center. The moon moth rested upon it. Milo watched in wonder. By protecting the caterpillar and the plant, he had made room for both. He understood that care was not a battle against every creature that caused trouble. Sometimes care meant looking closely enough to find a peaceful answer. Chapter 7. The Flower That Would Not Open. By late summer, 9 of the magical plants had begun to bloom. The silver-edged bush produced round white flowers. Each flower glowed like a tiny lamp after sunset. The red vine formed orange bells that rang softly in the morning breeze. The starleaf plant grew purple blossoms close to the ground. When Milo touched them, they released bright dust that floated for a few moments before fading. Every plant had become more wonderful than he had imagined. Every plant except the 10th. The 10th plant had recovered from the hungry caterpillar. It was now as tall as Milo's knee. Its leaves were smooth and dark green. At the top of its stem was one closed bud. The bud was large and perfectly round. Its outer petals were pale gold, but they remained tightly folded. Milo checked it every morning. It did not open. He gave it water. It did not open. He added a small amount of star compost. It did not open. He read 3 gardening books and tried placing a polished moonstone near its roots. A moonstone was a smooth white stone that gathered a little moonlight each night. Gardeners sometimes used one to help night-blooming flowers. The bud still did not open. Milo became impatient. "It must need magic," he said. He brought his wand from the tower. The wand was made of Rowan wood. It was shorter than his arm and had a small green crystal at its tip. Milo used it only for spells he had practiced with Master Rowan. He pointed the wand at the bud. Petals sleeping, wake and rise, open now beneath the skies. Green light circled the plant. The bud shook. Milo smiled. Then the stem bent so far that the flower nearly touched the ground. Milo quickly ended the spell. The stem slowly became straight again. Master Rowan had watched from beside the apple tree. "I did not hurt it," Milo said. "No," Master Rowan replied, "but you frightened it." Milo lowered his wand. "What if it never opens? It will open when ready, that is all?" "That is not a small thing." Milo sat beside the plant. He looked at the other flowers in the garden. They were bright and beautiful. Visitors from the village had begun to stop at the garden wall to admire them. Milo wanted to show them the 10th flower too. He imagined it becoming the largest flower of all. Perhaps its petals would be made of gold. Perhaps it would sing. Perhaps it would contain a tiny star. As he imagined these things, he remembered his promise to the 10th seed. "I will not ask you to become something you are not." Milo placed his wand on the grass. "I forgot," he whispered. The bud did not move. From that day forward, Milo stopped trying to open it. He still cared for the plant. He gave it water when the soil was dry. He removed weeds and checked the leaves for insects. But he asked nothing from the bud. The days became shorter. The first cool evenings of autumn arrived. 9 kinds of flowers began to lose their petals. The orange bells on the red vine became silent. The purple blossoms faded. The white flowers stopped glowing at night. The 10th bud remained closed. One evening, Milo brought a blanket outside. The blanket was made of soft blue wool. Master Rowan used it when reading beside the fire during winter. Milo wrapped it around his shoulders and sat near the 10th plant. The moon rose above the tower. It was full and bright. The garden rested in silver light. Milo heard the soft movement of the apple leaves. He heard a night bird calling from the forest. Somewhere near the stone wall, a cricket sang. He did not stare at the bud, he simply sat beside it. After a long time, he heard a quiet sound. It was like a page turning in a book. Milo looked down. One golden petal had unfolded. Then another petal opened. The flower did not hurry. It opened one layer at a time. Inside was a circle of deep blue petals. Tiny points of light shone across them. They looked like stars in a clear night sky. At the center of the flower rested a single drop of silver dew. The drop rose into the air. It floated above the garden and became a small sphere of light. The sphere cast a calm glow over every leaf and stone. Master Rowan came outside and stood beside Milo. "What kind of flower is it?" Milo whispered. "It blooms for a patient gardener." Milo watched the flower beneath the floating light. "Did you know that? I hoped. You were waiting too? I was waiting with you. Was it difficult?" "It was very hard. Very." They remained in the garden until the moon crossed half the sky. The flower stayed open all night. Just before sunrise, its golden petals slowly closed again. Milo did not feel sad. He knew now that some beautiful things could not be called, pushed, or hurried. They came when their own time was right. Chapter 8. A garden for the village. News of the waiting star spread through the village. The villagers did not come in a noisy crowd. They visited in small groups during the quiet evening hours. Milo showed them the stone path and asked them to remain beside it so the plants would not be harmed. First came Lila, the village baker. Lila was a tall woman with strong arms and a warm voice. White flour often rested on the front of her brown apron. She brought a small loaf of honey bread for Milo and Master Rowan. Next came Tomas, the carpenter. Tomas had a short black beard and careful hands. He repaired doors, chairs, carts, and wooden roofs. He brought a simple bench for the garden. The bench was made from smooth oak and was wide enough for 3 people. An old woman named Sarah visited after them. Sarah lived in a cottage near the village bridge. She walked with a wooden stick and knew the names of many birds. Milo placed the bench near the waiting star so she could sit comfortably. Each evening, the golden flower opened beneath the moon. Its silver light was soft. People who sat near it spoke more quietly than usual. Some brought worries with them, others brought tired hearts. The light did not erase their troubles, but it helped them rest. Milo noticed that the garden path was becoming crowded. Some visitors had to wait outside the stone wall. Children tried to look between the adults. Older villagers could not stand for long. "We need more space," Milo told Master Rowan. "Plants need space too." Milo thought about the unused ground beyond the garden wall. It was covered with grass and flat stones. He spoke with Tomas the carpenter. Together, they planned a small resting place outside the garden. Tomas explained what they would need. First, they needed flat stones for a safe path. Milo had saved the stones removed from the garden in spring. Second, they needed more benches. Tomas offered to make them from fallen branches and unused pieces of wood. Third, they needed lantern posts so visitors could see the path at night. The posts would hold covered candles high above the ground. The villagers agreed to help. On the first morning of autumn, they gathered behind the tower. Milo explained the work slowly. One group sorted the garden stones by size. Another group cleared grass from the new path. Tomas and 2 helpers built the benches. Lila brought warm rolls and apple cakes for everyone. Milo wanted the work to happen quickly. Then he noticed that the youngest children were struggling to carry the stones. He divided the stones into smaller baskets. The children could now carry them safely. Sarah sat beside the path and showed the workers where rainwater usually traveled. They left small spaces between certain stones so water would not gather beneath the benches. Master Rowan prepared the lantern posts. He placed a small protection charm on each glass cover. The charm would keep the candle flames from becoming too hot or too large. By afternoon, the new resting place was nearly finished. Milo looked at the path. One stone stood higher than the others. He was tired, and the sun was going down. For a moment, he thought about leaving it. Then he imagined Sarah walking there in the dark. He knelt and lifted the stone. He removed a little soil from beneath it and placed it again. The stone now rested flat. That evening, the villagers gathered outside the garden. They sat on the new benches. The lanterns made small pools of golden light along the stone path. When the moon rose, the waiting star opened. Its silver sphere floated above the garden. The glow reached beyond the low wall and touched every visitor. No one pushed forward. No one needed to stand among the plants. The garden remained safe, and the village had a peaceful place to gather. Lila gave Milo a slice of honey bread. "You have made something beautiful," she said. "The plants made it," Milo replied. "You gave them a home." Milo looked at the villagers resting beneath the silver light. He understood that a garden did not belong only to the person who planted it. Its shade, scent, beauty, and peace could be shared. Still, sharing required care. Paths had to be safe. Plants needed protection. Visitors needed a place to rest. A kind idea was only the beginning. Patient work becomes a true gift. Chapter 9. The First Snow. Autumn slowly left the land. The leaves of the apple tree turned yellow. They fell one by one and covered the garden path. The magical plants changed too. The silver-edged bush lost its white flowers. The red vine became brown and dry. The star-shaped leaves faded into the soil. Only the waiting star remained green, though its flower no longer opened every night. Milo worried as he watched the garden grow quiet. "Are the plants dying?" he asked. "The garden is resting." Master Rowan showed him how to collect seeds. Dry seed cases had formed where many of the summer flowers had bloomed. Each case was a small shell that protected the seeds inside. Milo waited until the cases were fully brown, then he opened them over clean pieces of paper. The white glowing flowers had made silver seeds as fine as grains of rice. The orange bells had made round red seeds. The purple flowers had formed tiny seeds that shone when held near one another. Milo placed each kind in a separate envelope. He wrote the plant's name and the collection date on the front. Then he stored the envelopes in the pale wooden box with the carved moon. "What about the waiting star?" he asked. Its golden flower had closed for the final time. The large bud now leaned toward the ground. "It has not made a seed case," Milo said. "Perhaps it gives a different kind of seed." Milo watched the plant for several days. Its leaves became pale. Its stem changed from green to gold. On the coldest morning of late autumn, the first snow began to fall. The flakes were large and soft. They rested on the stone wall and melted against the dark soil. Milo hurried to the waiting star. A clear crystal hung where the flower had once been. The crystal was shaped like a teardrop. Inside it glowed a tiny blue light. Milo reached toward it. "Wait," Master Rowan said. Milo stopped. "The plant may not be ready to release it." They watched together. Snow gathered around their boots. The golden stem slowly bent. The crystal moved closer to Milo's open hand. Then it fell. Milo caught it. The plant's stem became still. "Is this its seed?" he asked. "Yes, this is the seed." Milo held the crystal carefully. It felt neither warm nor cold. "Should we plant it now? Wait for spring? Then where should it go?" Master Rowan led him into the tower study. On a high shelf stood a round blue pot. The pot was made of glazed clay and decorated with white stars. It had a hole in the bottom so extra water could escape. They filled the pot with soil from the garden. Milo made a small hole in the center. He placed the crystal seed inside. Then he covered it. They set the pot near a window where it would receive winter sunlight. Milo gave it a little water. Days passed. Snow covered the village roofs. Ice formed along the edge of the tower well. The garden outside disappeared beneath a smooth white blanket. Milo checked the blue pot each morning. Nothing grew. He did not use a spell. He did not dig into the soil. Once each week he touched the earth. If it felt dry, he added a little water. Master Rowan noticed this. "You are not asking when it will grow," he said. "I still wonder," Milo replied. "But wondering is not the same as pulling it from the soil." Master Rowan nodded. All winter, the blue pot remained quiet. Milo used the cold months to clean his tools. He polished the spade and hand fork. He washed the silver watering can and dried it carefully. He read books about soil, weather, roots, and insects. He also drew a plan for the next garden. He planned tall plants along the northern wall so they would not block the sunlight. He left spaces for paths. Near the gate, he planned a patch of dream mint for future moon moths. The winter nights were long, but they were not empty. The garden was resting. Milo was learning. The seed waited in silence. Chapter 10. The Greatest Magic. Spring returned quietly. First, the snow melted from the tower roof. Then small streams of water ran beside the village road. Birds returned to the apple tree. Tiny green leaves appeared along its branches. One morning, Milo woke to a soft blue light. It came from the round pot near his bedroom window. A green shoot had risen from the soil. At its tip were two blue leaves shaped like small wings. Milo carried the pot downstairs. Master Rowan was making tea. "It grew," Milo said. Master Rowan looked at the little shoot. "So it did. I waited all winter. You were patient. I thought I would feel different. Do you?" Milo considered the question. He did feel different, but not in the way he had once imagined. He did not feel taller or more powerful. He did not feel ready to call dragons or build castles in one breath. He felt calm. Outside, the garden waited beneath the morning light. Milo carried the blue pot to the back door. He knew the young plant could not yet be placed in the cold ground, so he set it on a sheltered table where it could receive sunlight without meeting the wind. Then he entered the garden. The paths needed sweeping. Old stems had to be cut back. Winter leaves covered the soil. There was much to do. Milo went to the shed and chose his tools. He carried the willow basket for dead leaves. He took the hand fork for loosening the ground. He brought the silver watering can, though he left it empty until he knew which plants needed water. He began at the garden gate. One careful task followed another. By midday, several villagers had gathered outside the wall. Lila brought fresh bread. Tomas came with a repaired bench. Sarah arrived slowly with her walking stick. Behind them stood a little girl named Anya. Anya was 7 years old. She had dark curls and wore a yellow coat. She often visited the garden with her father, but she had never spoken to Milo before. Today, she held a small paper packet. "What is inside?" Milo asked. "Seeds," Anya replied. "They came from a sunflower beside our house." Milo knelt so he could see the packet more clearly. "Would you like to plant them?" Anya nodded. Milo led her to a sunny place near the outer resting area. The soil there had been prepared the previous autumn. He showed her the spade, but it was too large for her. Instead, he gave her a small wooden trowel. The trowel had a short handle and a narrow metal blade. It was used for making holes for small plants and seeds. Before Anya began, Milo explained what sunflower seeds needed. "They need sunlight, soil, water, and room for their roots," he said. Anya made the first hole. It was very deep. Milo did not tell her that she had done it badly. He showed her how the seed might struggle beneath so much soil. Together they filled part of the hole until it was the right depth. Anya placed the seed inside. "Will it grow today?" she asked. "Not today? Tomorrow?" "Probably not tomorrow." Anya looked disappointed. Milo remembered his first day in the garden. He remembered waiting for sparks. He remembered trying to wake the golden seeds with a spell. He sat beside her. "The seed will be busy before we see anything," he explained. "Its shell will soften. A small root will grow downward. Then a shoot will begin to reach upward. All of that happens in the dark. How will we know it is working? We will care for it and wait." "That sounds difficult." "It can be." Anya planted the remaining seeds. She covered them with soil and watered them gently. Milo showed her how to keep the watering can low so the water would not wash the seeds away. When the work was done, the ground looked plain. Anya stared at it. "Can you use magic to make them grow faster?" she asked. Milo glanced at Master Rowan. The old wizard stood near the apple tree, holding 2 cups of tea. A quiet smile rested on his face. Milo turned back to Anya. "I could make green sparks," he said. "I could make the ground shake a little. But none of that would help the seeds become strong. Then what is the best magic?" Milo looked around the garden. He saw the soil he had once believed was too hard. He saw the stone path built by many careful hands. He saw the dream mint waiting near the wall for moon moths. He saw the 9 plants beginning to return from their winter rest. On the sheltered table, the child of the waiting star lifted its blue leaves toward the sun. "The best magic is patience." Anya frowned a little. "That does not sound like magic." Milo laughed softly. "I once thought the same thing." He explained that patience was not only sitting still, it was preparing the earth before planting. It was giving the right amount of water. It was protecting young leaves from frost. Patience was looking for a peaceful answer when a caterpillar was hungry. It was allowing a flower to open in its own time. It was caring for a silent pot through a long winter, even when nothing could be seen. "Patience helps us stay kind while we wait," Milo said. "That is what makes it powerful." Anya thought about this. Then she placed a small stone beside the sunflower row. "I will come back tomorrow," she said. "And the day after that?" "Yes, and if nothing has grown, I will come back again." Milo smiled. "That is an excellent beginning." The villagers spent the afternoon preparing the garden for a new season. As evening approached, warm light filled the sky. The stone tower cast a long shadow across the grass. Birds settled in the apple tree. Master Rowan sat with Milo on the oak bench. "You wanted to learn a great spell," he said. "I remember. Do you still wish to fly?" "Yes," Milo replied, "but I can wait until I am ready." And the dragon? I think the garden has enough visitors for now, Master Rowan laughed. The sound was gentle and warm. Together they watched Anya's sunflower row. It remained quiet beneath the fading light. Nothing rose from the soil that evening. Nothing needed to. The seeds had been given a safe beginning. Night settled over the village. Lanterns glowed along the stone path. The air smelled of fresh earth, apple leaves and bread. Milo carried the silver watering can back to the shed. He cleaned the trowel and placed it on its peg. Then he covered the young blue plant with a glass cloche to protect it from the cool night. Before going inside, he stood at the garden gate. The little wizard looked at every path, plant, stone, and sleeping seed. He understood that the garden would never truly be finished. There would always be another season. There would always be something to prepare, something to protect, and something to release. Some plants would grow quickly. Others would remain hidden for a long time. A few might never grow at all. Milo could not command every seed. He could only offer good soil, gentle water, warm light, and faithful care. Then he could wait with hope. Above the blue-roofed tower, the first evening star appeared. A soft light answered from the plant beside the garden wall. Milo closed the gate and walked toward home. Behind him, the earth rested. Beneath its quiet surface, small roots reached downward. New shoots turned toward a morning they had not yet seen. Magic continued its patient work.